Hi everybody, welcome to Christy's Stampin' Spot. So, oh my goodness, so it's been a while. It's been a week, but it seems like it's been forever. I got my new Sale-A-Bration stuff in, and we're actually going to use the Country Floral embossing folder. Isn't this gorgeous? So this is the one of the new items that you can get with a $50 purchase. Isn't that gorgeous? So I was a little sad that we ran out of the foil like the same day it came out, but look how gorgeous. If you guys still have some of that foil left over, the lovely lipstick, that's what this, and then here I did it in Bermuda Bay, so you guys can see. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty, and it's such a deep impression. I don't know if you guys can see, it's super deep, and we're going to use this today. Love it, love it, love it, love it. It's so fabulous. The other thing we got was this lovely bundle. So that one was the $50 order. We also got, for $100, you got this lovely Painted Seasons bundle. And look how gorgeous. I'm going to be making some projects with this later on in the week. And these are, it's a cling set, but it's one of those that's the dynamic. So it almost looks like it's 3D when you stamp it, which is pretty awesome. And then it had this matching paper. Look how gorgeous this paper is. So on the front, it has these four gorgeous, there's succulents, there's mushrooms, there's gorgeous flowers, and then a Christmassy winter paper. And then on the back, it has this lovely, just lovely, what are those, like, I want to say, geometric shapes on the back. So it's pretty nice. So you can use it even if you don't really love this pattern, but oh my gosh, who loves that? I mean, mushrooms, how awesome is that? And then these beautiful succulents. Whoever got the new March paper pumpkin, we had succulents. They're totally in right now. So awesome. But anyways, that's the paper that comes with this bundle. And of course, starting March 1st, you can buy the framelit set that matches, which is pretty awesome, which I'm very excited about. And the other $50 set that came out is, I actually set it up back up, is called the All Adorn, and this one has this really great corner piece, and this is made to go on with your Stamparatus. Although I think it will be awesome to use it without, you can use it even without your Stamparatus. But isn't that gorgeous? Look at the shapes. If you guys really like the geographic shapes. Wow, I don't know why I'm having trouble with that word today. That pretty? Anyway, so that's the other new set that's available with the $50 purchase. So very exciting new stuff. Let me go ahead and set that aside. And then today, we are actually going to use the Lily framelit dies. Now, the Lily set is one that you can get with a $100 purchase now. And the Lily dies match it, and you can get these starting March 1st. And they have these gorgeous, look at these fabulous, so it matches this perfectly, but it has these really great label that just builds really lovely, layer really well on top of each other. So I'm actually going to use those because we're going to build a vintage with the Blushing Bride and the Very Vanilla today. And I actually use these new dies, which I really love because it goes really well with the Story Punch, which is also going to be available to purchase starting March 1st. Hi Joe, hi Debbie. And I just love this punch. And this punch matches some of our other sentiments, but it actually matches a bunch of sentiments, not just the ones that go with the Sale-A-Bration set. We're actually going to use this again today. I'm going to use that as well today. As well as, we're not actually using this set, I'm just going to use the framelit dies. I love these. Like, I am a sucker for labels. I love label. And look how pretty these are. They're really, really a lovely. They go so well on top of each other. I love it when they layer so nice. Okay, so let's see. So I'm going to get crafting. So I'm actually going to use a butterfly from the Botanical Butterflies, which is also still available. And I thought this one was going to go and was going to be unavailable really quickly. But they still have some of this paper left, which is super awesome. I don't know, for the you earn with the $50 purchase. And I'm actually going to use one of these pieces of black and white. Where is it? Black and white butterflies. Some gorgeous butterflies. Aha, here they are. Oh, yeah. These ones right here. I'm going to use these on the card today. But you can still get this pack of paper. And we did run out of the punch that you can use to cut out the butterfly we used today and the little miniature butterflies. But they're going to be back. It's going to be in the next catalog. And we should get more in, I think, the beginning of April. So if you love this paper, still get the paper, because you can only earn that till March 31st, because these will be out. So you can save your paper to cut out. Although this paper is so gorgeous, you don't even need it. I mean, the black and white is gorgeous, and the pretty color. Oh, it's so lovely. This is like my third pack of this paper. I just absolutely love it. We're only going to use one little butterfly from it today. We're also going to use a favorite from the holiday catalog. So a few of the items from the holiday catalog did get carried over, and one of them is our frosted and clear epoxy droplets. So you can still get these online. If you still have your holiday catalog, you can find the number, but it's also online. You can just go under embellishments on my online store, and you can find them, the frosted and clear epoxy droplets. We're going to use the clear ones today. I'm going to color it with one of the blends. So we're going to do that. We don't need that. And then again, all the awesome celebration sets. So unfortunately, our precious parcel kit has we've run out of those, as well as our butterfly elements and the Grape for Golden Lovely lipstick foil sheets. But the good news is our ribbon's going to be back in probably in the middle of the month, so in the middle of March. So keep looking for that. That'll come out. That ribbon is gorgeous, so we'll have that coming out. But all the stamp sets are still available, which is super awesome, and I cannot wait till March when you guys can get your hands on all the framelits that match. It's so exciting, so exciting. Okay, like I said, these are the awesome products that are coming out, the Sale-A-Bration coordination starting March 1st. But this is the card that we're going to make today. So I really love the vintage look, and Mary Fish, this is kind of case from Mary Fish, she did hers in like Blackberry Bliss and like early espresso. But I got out the Blushing Bride, isn't that pretty? And Crumb Cake on the Very Vanilla. And so what I did, I'm going to show you how to make this kind of vintagey, see how it's very distressed, card front. Okay, so I started with a Very Vanilla base, and of course it's an 8.5 by 11. It's cut at 5.5, and then scored at 4 1/4. So that's our card base in Very Vanilla. I love Very Vanilla, especially with vintage. And then I cut a piece of Blushing Bride at 5 3/8 and 4 1/8. And then we did a piece of Crumb Cake. Oh, what did I do with my Crumb Cake? Oh, so the Crumb Cake, I actually did a piece of Crumb Cake that was, actually it was 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And I put it through my, now I seem to have dropped it. Of course, isn't that how that works? I ran it through my Subtles embossing folder, because when I was looking at this, I was like, oh, it would have been so pretty if I had embossed, dry embossed my Crumb Cake. So I totally embossed my Crumb Cake, and I set it aside, I flung it around, and of course, I have lost it somewhere. Isn't that how that always works? What did I do with my Crumb Cake? A piece of Crumb Cake. Oh, Crumb Cake, where did you go? Okay, so it's going to be one of those days. Oh, here it is, right here. Ha-ha! I found it. I thought I was going to have to cut another piece. So what I did was, this one is the 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, because it's going to layer right on top of my Very Vanilla. But I wanted to, I thought it would look better if I added a little bit more texture. So I did run it through my my Subtle Dynamic Impressions embossing folder. I love this. I just use it all the time. And it is a big fat one, so you just use one of your plates when you run it through. But oh, I just love the way that textured. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything to my base, but for the Crumb Cake and for all my other layers, I'm actually going to use a dauber today with the Blushing Bride ink, and I'm going to distress it. But first, I'm going to take my piece of Blushing Bride, and it's cut at 4 and 5 1/4, and I'm going to crumple it up. So I'm just going to crumple it just like this. And then I'm going to take one of my misters that just has water in it, and I'm just going to lightly spray it with water. Not a lot, just a little bit. And so some of the embossing folders, it works really good when you use your mister, because then it helps keep your paper, gets a better impression. But I really like to do this when I crumple it. So I'm going to crumple it up. So that's actually the piece of cardstock. Look at that. Then you're going to unfold it just like that, and you're going to put it in your embossing folder just like that. You don't have to try to get it too smoothed out, just so that it fits in there, just like that. And then you're going to run it just like that through your folder, and then it's going to look like this. So can you guys see how it's a little bit distressed? You can see the little cracks. And then to make it even more vintage, like I said, we're going to use our Blushing Bride, our ink, and one of these daubers. Now, the daubers are pretty awesome. I have to put my little tag on it, but I put a lot of these lovely. You can get like 5. I think it's like 5 that comes in a package. Then I put the name of the color on it, and I just use the same one for that color. Isn't that pretty? So then you just put a little bit of on there. Now I actually used a little bit of my ink refill and put it right here. You can do the squishy thing on there too, but I needed a lot because I wanted to just go over all of the tops of my flowers, all the embossed images, because it just darkens it. Do you see how it like, and you can use a crumb cake if you wanted it darker, but I just thought with just using the Blushing Bride, which is it really is a darker, has like a grayer tint to it, that it just adds it just enough. See how that's just deepening the color around on the flowers, the embossed parts. So just rub it on there. And then after I get the flowers the way I like, I am going to, oh my thing stopped. You're going to use your, and go on the edges, just like that. And then it almost looks, so that's it. And we used to have like a wood block thing that you can distress, and you can still do that with sandpaper, but just crumpling it up and putting it in the, putting this on the edge is all you really need. So, and you can just dab it like that too if you want. See how it looks nice and distressed? Oh, the folder is just super awesome, Joe. Like, it is absolutely gorgeous. So if you get, my paper is very malleable, and you don't get it too wet because you don't want the paper to be wet when you start doing adding the ink. But there you go. So you just add to the tops and around to the edges, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the crumb cake. So I'm going to just add, and just use to the edges of the crumb cake for this layer. Just makes it look like distressed. I just love the color. See, look at how cool that looks. It really makes it look vintage. Okay, and then for the sentiment. So I went ahead and cut out, using those awesome new framelits, label framelits from the Lily set that's available March 1st. I did the small one in the Very Vanilla and the bigger one in the Blushing Bride. And I set the Blushing Bride down. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the Thanks to fit in here. And that's actually from the Varied Vases, which is in our annual catalog. That there's one that matches it that's new. It's not pretty. It's a great, it has these great, fabulous little sentiments. I love this Thanks. It's one of my favorites. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my Thanks. Get that right here in the middle. Oops. Look at that. I got a little bit of a halo. So let me clean my Thanks off. And there's a second side. Ooh, that I just gooed with my fingers. Don't do that. I have another one. I cut out 2 just in case. Okay. So don't rock it. There we go. Muy bien. Perfect, perfect. Awesome, awesome sauce. Okay. And then after you get your Thanks in, again, I want to do the same thing that I did with the flower embossed with the Country Floral and the Crumb Cake. I'm just taking the dauber and just going around all the edges. And you can make it as light or as dark as you want. And I'm going to do the same thing with the Blushing Bride piece. Add a little bit. Not pretty. I just love vintage where you dirty everything up. It's so fabulous. Okay, and then I'm going to take a piece of Crumb Cake, and I'm going to use my new Story Builder punch that comes out on March 1st. Isn't that cool? It's different and cool. It matches these so nice. Look at how cool that looks. Looks so good. Okay, but I'm going to, before I build it, I want to dirty this edges up too. And I've seen it, you can use like early espresso or even Crumb Cake on the edges if you want it more brown. But I really liked the way the Blushing Bride looked on the edges. It looked very vintage. Not like it was burnt, but definitely vintage. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. And now I can build my sentiment up. So I'm going to go ahead. So I'm going to use glue. Just put a little bit of glue on the back of this and center it inside. I'm trying to see my centered in the middle. Very nice. And I put more glue on this one. Center it in the middle of this. Just like that. But this one, I'm going to actually pop up onto dimensionals. I really like the dimensional, especially when I'm using any kind of ribbon. So then I'm going to take my pretty, hi Karen, my pretty Blushing Bride with that, oh my gosh, look at how, can you guys see the detail on that? It's so pretty. And then use some of my linen thread. I'm just gonna, about 3 times, I'm gonna go around. And now when you've distressed it this much, you have to be careful because it will tear. So especially when you're wrapping it around like this, you don't want to get it too tight because you don't want it to tear. You want it so loose that it falls off, but you have to be careful that it doesn't tear. Okay, get my scissors out. I always do a little bit too much ribbon when I'm doing it on camera because I'm actually going to try to do a bow. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to put my linen thread together so it's not as separated out. Okay, there we go. Get my thread. Set in the middle Make sure you guys can see it. I was trying to show my thing and it's just not working. That other phone, I'm gonna have to do something different because it just doesn't want to work. Okay, I need my scissors again. And I'll cut it. Okay, isn't that pretty? Oh, I love the linen thread. It's so pretty. Very vintage, very vintage. Okay, and then, okay, so this I'm gonna set just like that. You can put more dimensionals on. I find that 2 is good, as long as you make sure you keep the spot where your ribbon's gonna go without the dimensional on it. So your dimensional goes between. That usually makes it stick so much better. There we go. Look at that. Muy bien. Okay. So then I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. Make sure you don't get it too close to the edge. So always put them in the corner. And definitely, you probably need to use a little more than usual. I don't know how happy you are with the dimensionals, but because this is kind of a, once you've distressed it, it really breaks the cardstock, so it doesn't have any stiffness to it. So you want to definitely give it a little bit of extra stability. There we go. It looks so pretty. I love how it's distressed. These things are driving me nuts. Look at that. What was I doing the other day? And I had them. It was like in the kitchen. Couldn't. It followed me into the kitchen. I don't even know how I had it. It's funny. They just get everywhere. And I'm a bit of a messy stamper, as you can tell. As you have no idea what it's like behind me. It's like a tornado went through. Because I am such a messy stamper. Okay, so these are all good. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and layer that on top of my crumb cake. Swoop. Muy bien. Okay, and then I'm just going to use glue. And the glue works really good with these embossed, when you emboss it. I love this. The Sale-A embossing folder is still my favorite. Even although I do love the new Country Floral, like it is super fantastically gorgeous. But man, that Sale-A, you can use it for everything. It just really makes the cardstock pop. Okay, there we go. Muy bien, is that pretty? Okay, and now we need to add, so let me make sure my crease is really good, the butterfly. So now I had cut out from the Botanical Butterflies, I cut out a bunch of these. So this is just the black and white side of that. And again, I'm going to use my Blushing Bride. Now you can probably color it if you wanted to with your blends or your markers or your watercolor. I'm just going to go with my sponge dauber. See how you just add that color? Make sure you get the edges really nice. You can really add a lot of color quick with these daubers. They're super awesome. And then I'm just going to bend it a little bit. So you can see right here is this, his little body. So I'm just bending it around the little body a little bit. And that's where I'm going to put my glue dots. See, so now I have a little bit of, oh, I got something on my butterfly right there. And you can probably use puffy dot, the Stampin' Dimensionals if you want it to stand up. But I'm going to use some of these are glue dots, and I'll put 2 on because I really want it to stick. I'm going to put it right here, really close to my, have it stand up just a little bit. See how pretty that is? Oh! And then my bow. Okay, but now we're not done. Like, I'm going to use those epoxy dots. So I love those epoxy dots. I have the frosted ones and the clear ones, but today I'm going to use the clear ones. And that's these ones. And I'm going to, oh, thank you so much for sharing, Angie. Ooh, morning from Australia. I'm going to use because I use Crumb Cake, I am going to use my dark Crumb Cake. I'm going to use the brush end of my blend. And I'm going to go ahead and just color my dot. Just like that. I'm going to use 2 of them. So I'm just coloring the top of my clear boxy dots. And you can do these with all of your jewels, like your embellishments, like the clear jewels, and the blends really work really well. I'm trying to find out. Here's my pick a tool. I have a bunch of these I've already done. And then I'm going to put them, oops, right in the corner of my thanks. Isn't that pretty? So it's not a really difficult card, but just using the dauber to distress it. And isn't that fun? Squishing the paper all up and then just spritzing it a little bit, because that helps it so it doesn't tear. And then you just put it in your folder, and it makes such a fun vintage card. What do you guys think? Is that pretty? Yeah. And I think just adding a little bit of the butterfly is super cute. I love the butterfly. And these labels are awesome. And like I said, you can get these new labels as a part of the Lily dies. It matches that lovely Lily set. That is, this will be available March 1st. And the Lily dies are earnable now with a $100 purchase. And don't forget, when you guys are trying to purchase, get your order up to the $100 or $50 mark, to check out the clearance rack. We have some awesome things on the clearance rack. The shield punch is still there, and it matches several of our stamp sets that we have. The one that's with the motorcycle, and one of the ones that the Courage of Honor has a shield on it that you can get. I think the planner is still on there. There's ribbon. So if you're only a couple of $5 or $6 off from the total to bump it up to get to the next celebration, definitely remember to check out the clearance rack. There's still a lot of awesome stuff on there. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my card. Please like and share, and like my page. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that little subscribe button so you can get notified. I will be doing a lot more YouTube videos and not just my Facebook replays on my YouTube channel, so keep an eye out for that. And I'm also starting to do my blog every day. So if you check my blog every day, I'll have a new card up with the card measurements and supply lists every day, so you can have a new inspiration. So definitely check that out. And if you haven't already subscribed to my newsletter, I'll have a link in the description as well. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and rest of your week. Happy crafting!